Hi folks, Max from HTC1root.com. Today I'm going to show you how to install a custom ROM on your HTC One. First you'll need to download the custom ROM, and I've actually downloaded my custom ROM. And for most sense-based ROMs, like the one I'm going to install right now, TrickDroid ROM, it's just one zip file. You do not unzip the file, just simply download it straight to your phone, or you can also download it to your computer and copy it over if you have trouble, because sometimes with the phone it will not download correctly. But if you do it on your computer, it might download easier because it's on your computer, because these are large files. So go ahead and download the appropriate files. If it's a ROM, it's an AOSP ROM, you might need to download also Google Apps. So go ahead and download all the files you need, usually 1 or 2 files. And go ahead and boot into your twerp recovery. Now I'm going to show you how to do it manually, since you might be coming from a stock ROM. So go ahead and go to power, make sure fast boot is unchecked, and then you're going to go ahead and power off your phone. Now most custom ROMs have actually a menu button. You can go straight into recovery really easily, but I want to show you how to do it manually. So if something goes wrong with your phone, you can power off your phone and boot into your twerp recovery. Once your phone is powered off, go ahead and hold down the volume down and the power button together about 3 seconds, and you should be able to get the bootloader menus here. Go ahead and choose recovery and hit the power button. Alright, and it should say entering recovery, and we're going to go ahead and install this ROM. Before you install a ROM, I highly suggest you to make a backup of all of your apps using Titanium Backup app, and also back up your contacts you're using Gmail, and also you can back up your SMS text messages easily. There's a bunch of free SMS backup apps on the Play Store which doesn't require root. Go ahead and use those, back up your apps, back up your contacts, and also back up your SMS text messages, because most custom ROMs you'll have to start over, and I do highly suggest clean install when installing a new ROM. And also do make a backup ROM. I know I repeat this a bunch of times, but some people don't do it. They get in trouble and it just takes them longer to get their phone working. So once you have done all of those, we're going to go ahead and install the ROM. And the first thing you're going to do, most likely, you're going to have to do a wipe. I'm going to go ahead and wipe factory reset. This will erase all of your settings, all of your apps, all of your SMS text messages. That's why I told you use these apps to back it up. Go ahead and go back home. Once that's done, go ahead and install, and go ahead and find the ROM file. If you download it straight to your phone, it should be in your download folder. So I've got TrickDroid 7.5.0.zip. That's the ROM I'm installing right now. Now there might be an extra files such as Google Apps. Then you'll have to, after installing the ROM, you can use the same process and install the Google Apps. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Choose a file and swipe, and this will install the TrickDroid ROM. Some ROMs they'll just install. Some ROMs like this one have an aroma graphical installer that will allow you to walk through. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next. I'll choose my options. For this ROM is actually supported by international AT&T or T-Mobile. I have the international version here. And also you can also choose wipe here. I'm going to go ahead and full wipe again. And also if you want these options or whatever, I'm going to go ahead and choose it. You know, depending on the ROM, there might be different options. So I'm going to go ahead and choose just one of those. And all of these options here. And I'm going to go ahead and install it. And once it's done, simply reboot your phone and you should be on your new custom ROM. And if you did back up your apps using Titanium Backup app, simply restore your apps. For your contacts, if you use Gmail, they will be backed up using your Gmail, or you can also use Facebook, which also backs up your contacts. Just make sure your contacts are somehow backed up using an online service. Whatever it is you're using, then it's easy to restore. And also your SMS text messages, you can use, like I said, an SMS text messaging app to restore your SMS text messages. So once this is done, we're pretty much done. Now, if you're installing a ROM like AOSP ROM, like I said, you'll have to also install Google Apps or G Apps. And after installing ROM, do not reboot and use the same options as installing a ROM. You don't have to do a wipe, but install the Google Apps and reboot. And that's pretty much it. I'll be back when this is done installing the TrickDroid ROM. So I am done here. I'm going to go ahead and hit next, and it should reboot. Sometimes with the aroma installer, even if it's done, it might kind of freeze like this. Just hold down the power button to reset if that happens to you. But if you went through the install process, you should be all good to go. You can also try installing without wipe or data factory resets. Now, you know, I don't actually recommend it for most custom ROMs, but you can do it. And I've installed ROMs successfully without doing a wipe data factory resets. And what's good about that is it will keep all of your apps, all of your settings, all of your stuff. Usually if you're coming from a stock ROM to a sense-based ROM such as TrickDroid, you probably don't need to do a data factory reset, which was the case for me. I didn't have to do it. But if you're going from a sense ROM to AOSP ROM, then you definitely have to. So there are different situations. If you want to do it without data wipe factory resets, just make a backup ROM. That way, if it doesn't boot or if you get a bunch of force closes, you can always restore whatever ROM you had with all of your settings, apps running perfect, and then you can try again. After failing, then you can do a data wipe factory reset. But in most likely cases, you know, this will work, and we'll be back when this completely boots. Hi folks, so I've booted just fine. If you get the welcome screen, your phone boots, congratulations, you've installed your first ROM on the HTC One. And yeah, that's how you install a ROM. Now if you end up in a boot loop, usually if it takes longer than 10 minutes, it took about 5 minutes to boot this one. If it takes longer than 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you could end up in this thing called boot loop. And what you can try to do, power off your phone, and get into toward recovery, or what you can do is hold down the volume down and hold down the power button, which will reset. Get back into toward recovery, try a fresh reinstall. Now if that fails, sometimes what I do is there's a menu that allows you to format system and format data. Format data and system, and try the whole installation process again. Usually that will fix up everything. And if that fails, you can always restore whatever your ROM you had before and try another ROM, or try another ROM. So many ways to cut the cake. So I've got my ROM installed. That's how you install a custom ROM on your HTC One. And I hope this helped you install a ROM. And as always, if you have an HTC One, don't forget to sign up for my email list at htc1root.com. We update you once a week with ROM of the Week tips, hacks, and more. And also, if you're on YouTube, please hit that like button for me here, subscribe button down there, and I'll see you guys soon. Stay high on Android.